Hello out there. I am in the Dagaoshi Waterfront Park. I was suggested to come here by a viewer on my Shirtless Traveler Rants About What It's Like Being in Taiwan Right Now video, and she suggested I come here and do the hike up to Yuanjue Falls. So here I am. Look at that temple in the distance. Pretty nice, huh? So in this video, I'm basically filming it because I'm trying new settings with my editing program. So I figured I'd just tell the story about the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me while traveling, maybe even in my entire life. My story begins in Bogota, Colombia, very far away from Taipei, Taiwan. I was, let's see if I can make it across here without, I'm gonna have to get wet. I think I'm wearing sandals. I was in Bogota and I had just gotten there maybe 2 days ago. I was staying at a hotel just to get my bearings, and I was switching to a hostel to meet some other travelers and find out what sort of things are cool in the city to do and in the area, right? Make some other filthy backpacker friends. So I figure, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll just walk. I will walk from my hotel to the hostel I was staying in. It was a direct shot straight down the busiest pedestrian road in Bogota with hundreds of people walking around. So I take off walking with my backpack, right? And I obviously don't look Colombian, especially with a backpack on. So it marks me as a tourist instantly. And I took off. A nice place for a picnic down there. Already went the wrong way, so off to a good start with this video. Is this an anime? I guess Google Maps told me to go this way, right through the creek. Woo! Brisk and slippery, baby. Anyway, so I take off walking, right? Busy pedestrian street, hundreds of people around. Get to see a little bit of the city. And I start walking, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the only way to describe the way that this guy looks is, if you've ever seen a goblin from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, like the guy looks like he just came out of Middle Earth. You know, he's like a nasty creature who has lived his entire life on the streets. And you can tell that the streets has weathered him. Like, he is missing teeth, he's dirty, he looks 45, or he might be my age and the streets have just aged him that much. I get walking, and he comes up out of nowhere. And he comes up next to me and he holds out this gnarly hand, which is, let's put this down, my bubble tea down real quick. He holds out his hand and he's missing this, or he's got this one in full, he's got his thumb in full, this finger to that knuckle, this finger to that knuckle, and this finger to that knuckle. So he's missing bits of his hand, like he's been caught shoplifting before and has been given street justice or something like that. So he holds out his hand and he goes, money for me? And I say, no gracias, and I just keep walking, right? And then he kind of just walks with me right next to me, and I see him in my peripheral vision just sort of standing there as I'm walking. And I get maybe one more block and I hear him go, oh, easy money, easy money? And I say, no. And then I take, whoops, almost went the wrong way and walked right through their picnic. Anyway, so I take a few more steps, and all of a sudden he's in front of me and he's holding a rusty box cutter just right in front of me, like down here. And he goes, oh, give me money or I stab you. And I say, oh, okay. So like, I literally laugh at the situation because it's so bizarre and there's so many people around. And the dude is maybe 5 feet tall, right? So for him to go after somebody who's 6'4", I'm just like, okay, props to you. You must really need this money. So I pull out my wallet case, right? For my phone, has my cards in it, has maybe $20 in cash, $10 in Mexican pesos that I was gonna exchange there just to get a better rate to save 50 cents. You know, what a waste. So I pull that out and I give him the $20 in Colombian pesos that I had, and he sees that I still have the Mexican pesos in there. And so he goes, more, and I'm like, it's Mexican, dude. And he goes, more. I'm like, all right, man, you know, here you go. And I gave him the $10 in Mexican pesos, right? And this is where it gets really bizarre. So I give him the $10 in Mexican pesos. He's got all that. He doesn't want my phone. He doesn't want my cards, you know? So I'm like, okay, we're good. So I give him the cash. And then he closes his gnarly fist, his other one, which doesn't have the knife in it, puts it in front of me. And then we give each other a bro pound, right? Bizarre, super weird. And he goes, oh, gracias. And then he scurries away into what I'm assuming just back to the mines of Moria or something with all of his other goblin gremlin folk. Oh, there goes a crane. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, there he goes. Sometimes I get a little bit too torqued on nature. Anyway, so he scurries away. You know, I'm just like, what just happened? That's so bizarre. You know, and in a situation like that, like, I think about it often. And it's like, yeah, I probably could have fought him, you know, or I probably could have ran, but all it takes is for him to nick me once, and then all of a sudden I have to go to a hospital, and it's going to cost a lot more than $30 US. Or a cop sees me beating up a local guy, comes over and decides that he wants to get a bribe out of the situation. So who knows? It could have gone any way. And I tell that story to people and they're just like, oh, well, if that would have happened to me, I would have punched him in the face. And you're just like, well, would you have? Like, I've told that to coworkers before, and it's like, oh, would you have punched him in the face? Because I wasn't aware that you're John Rambo, you know? Your name's Rick, and you sell tires. Like, you've probably never been in a situation where anybody has ever pulled a weapon on you, let alone in a foreign country. I'm gonna check the map and make sure I'm going the right way. Well, I wasn't going the right way, so good thing I stopped and checked. Where was I? But yeah, I don't fault Colombia or anything, and I don't think that Colombia is like a bad place. I had a great time in the country, and I'd suggest it to anybody. But things like that can happen anywhere. You know, one of my friends, he got robbed, I don't know, half a mile away from our house in Seattle. Two guys jumped him while he was riding his bike. And so it's like, yeah, I don't fault people. I still recommend people go to Colombia. Things like that can happen anywhere. But you know, obviously the guy needed 30 bucks more than I did, right? And I like to think that hopefully that 30 bucks bought him drugs or alcohol that made him at least happy. And you never know, maybe he's out there pulling knives on tourists so that he can afford to go to medical school. And one day he'll be the guy who cures cancer. I mean, I highly doubt it, right? But it's a possibility. Dogao Stream tourist map. Rock explanation area. I don't need to be explained to how to rock. Like I'm Jack Black or something. Thunderstorms rolling in. I just heard some thunder, so that's always fun to be hiking shirtless in the mountains in a thunderstorm. Hopefully I don't get torrentially downpoured on. I guess I'll just leave with one more thing about this whole ordeal. I actually told that story when I was deployed to Kuwait with the military. They had an open mic poetry night. And I was like, oh, perfect, you know, I'll just get up there. It's an open mic. I'll do comedy spot. I've never been to an open mic poetry night. No idea what to expect. So I got up there. I told that story. And then I read a poem that I wrote. And this is the poem. I will read it to you now. So the poem is called Little Gremlin Man. Oh, little gremlin man, whom whence came from a trash can, bright and in the middle of the day. No, no, did I say. Oh, little gremlin man, Colombian hobbit with a knife in his hand, rusty, not shining in the sun that day. Give me money, did he say. Oh, little gremlin man, I gave thou all the money that I can. Gracias, he gave me a bro pound. I feel like we should have gone out on the town. Oh, little gremlin man, this doth not what I had planned. Next time, I think I will take a cab, rather than risk getting a stab. Oh, little gremlin man. I actually stole that word for word from Shakespeare, if you can't tell. I'm gonna go up the trail a little bit further. I'll show you the waterfall to end the video with. Here it is, Yuanjue Falls. Just kidding, it's over here. Here we go, Yuanjue Falls. Very cool, much bigger than I thought they would be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Kind of different from what I usually do. But like I said, trying out some new settings with the editing program. Hopefully gonna make things look a lot better than they have been on the channel. If you enjoyed it, please flatter me with a like, a subscribe, and if you're here in Taiwan, leave a comment on where you think I should go in the island, because I'm still gonna be here for another month and a half maybe. So I'm about to leave Taipei, I'm about to go out in the country. So if you have any suggestions on where to go, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Yep, straight into a hike. Nice torrential downpour.